I just remember they did like the halftime show a couple of years ago, and I was still under the impression that they were cool. And then they did that show with Travis Scott like for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
And everyone was roasting it on Twitter. I was like, that was cool, guys, right?
Guys, wait,
I
we
don't
were
think he has
excited for
tattoos.
this.
He's cool.
Dare you say that my behavior is unacceptable? This love has taken. I shiver when I hear your name. She will be done. I'll way too shameful. Several miles from the sun. Sunday morning rain is falling. Everyone has a secret. You ain't never coming back to me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Spin Club. My name is David Stewart, and this is the online album listening club where we get to know music and people all at the same time. Once again, I'm David Stewart, the host of this fun show, and today I have Nathan Alexander with me, and we are talking about Songs About Jane by Maroon 5.
Ooh.
For those that have not been to the show before, welcome, first of all. Second, there's three main segments to this show. There is On a Pedestal, which is where we talk about the good things in the album. There's On a Spit, which is where we talk about the lowlights. And then there's On a Turntable, where we turn the tables and start talking about our guest a little more. That's the first time I've ever uttered that phrase out loud. I don't know if I like it or not, or if I feel like a hack. Vote in the comments. Dude, I sound like a hack just now. And then after that, at the very end, we'll have a mini game for Nathan, and that is what you should stick around for because the mini games are often very silly. But with that being said, let's dive in, man. Nathan, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. It's good. It's a beautiful day outside.
It's so nice.
We're just gonna soak up the sun before it goes away because that's how Ohio works. But then, so our first section pre-pedestal is something I'm calling liner notes, which is where I'm going to ask you the simple question of why you brought this album to the club. So I want to know why you decided to bring Songs About Jane.
Okay. This one, it's like Maroon 5's a very easy band to make fun of and hate. I think since this album really, and like, I don't know, you wouldn't think that an album this old would still hold up as well as it does. But listening to it, it's like, oh, this is actually still really good.
Yeah, I mean, like musically, I will give you that. It is good. It is catchy. Like,
there's hits.
Yeah, there's hits on there. I won't lie to you, dude. There's hits. But Maroon 5 is super easy to make fun of. Which like I went down a rabbit hole in prep for this because like their first band, like before they were Maroon 5,
I didn't listen to it, but
it was Kara's Flowers is what it's called.
There were just four of them.
Yeah,
they needed the fifth.
Apparently there's like six people in the band now.
They have one album cover where there's like seven people on the CD. Like we wouldn't notice. I don't know. That made me mad. Stop lying to
Who do you think you are, Slipknot?
Yeah.
But like Kara's Flowers actually ripped. Like
really?
it was like very early, kind of like emo, like pop punky sort of, like super simple.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys should have stayed this way. You should have stayed this way. You should have gone as far as Songs About Jane and then no farther.
Right. Dang, I didn't know that their album before was good. I think it flopped pretty hard.
Oh yeah, it flopped for sure. But like looking back, I don't know. Do you remember the band The Click 5?
I mean, I think I had heard one or
like,
two. Like,
'cause she's bittersweet.
Oh,
yeah. They reminded me a lot of that.
Okay,
like they're wearing suits in the
Nice.
in the music video and like
very important.
Yeah, it's very important, the aesthetic of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
But so all right, man. So it's just fun to make fun of, and
It's fun to make fun of Maroon 5, but this actually is still a good album in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And it was a relief that like so many like songs or movies and stuff from when you're young. I think I was like 7 when this came out, but I didn't start listening to it till later on. But you try to show someone that now, something from like your early years, and you're like, oh, this is really, really bad. And I had it in my mind as some like great piece of art.
Yeah.
But going back to it and it's still good is very refreshing.
It's like watching American Pie again.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Like,
I mean, American Pie holds up because it's nostalgic, but like if you were to like
only because it's nostalgic.
Yeah, but if you were to introduce like a Gen Z or like any younger like to like this is what comedy was, man. Like
it's like when people hear Eminem now and they're like, how is this guy like
oh, but we remember
so
Kim.
revered.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That rips. I had a follow-up. Oh, yeah, because if anyone's interested, like if you watch Osha Dwyer's episode where we talk about Starboy by The Weeknd, that is like what he just explained is what I lived through listening to that album with like older ears. I was like, oh, this is very bad. Like, this is not good. You're like not a good person. But like when I was like a teenager or like early 20s, I was like, yeah, this guy gets me.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'd rather he didn't get me.
Right. I guess it's just like a lot of music. It's very like, I don't know, when you're that insular about your life, trying to describe something that's good or bad, like it's never as good or bad as you think it is when you're 15.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, if it actually hits that happy medium, it's nice.
Yeah. Where like, okay, this held up.
Yeah.
I did have good taste at one point.
Well, may have been the outlier.
All right. Speaking of good taste, let's get into our first segment here on A Pedestal. So the first question here, these are all the same now. As someone sharing music, there's always hope there's a Venn diagram like of our like overlap. Like I know when I share music with people, I'm like, I really hope they pick up on this thing.
Yeah.
Is there something that you wanted me to pick up on in my like most recent listen of this album? Like, was there something that you were hoping that I'd just like get?
So I'd say like the later albums, the more recent ones from Maroon 5, you listen to them now and it's very like, I don't know, Adam Levine isn't really belting it out like he was back then. And then you go back and listen to the first song of the album, Harder to Breathe, and he's fucking like ripping through this song. And I was hoping you'd pick up like, oh, he can actually sing. Like he is a singer.
I picked it up in Kara's Flowers. He was decent.
Yeah.
Like, and like I did pick up on like him belting, but I picked up on the musicianship across the album way more than like their later stuff because it got so poppy.
They're still playing instruments.
Yeah, and you can tell they're instruments. Like there's like so much things in the production later on that like the modulation, like we're gonna put all kinds of layers over this guitar, so it doesn't even sound like a guitar anymore.
Right.
So I definitely picked up on that. I also picked up on like some of like the more immaturity of Adam Levine.
See, I feel like I never really forgot that. I think like his image now is just like bad person. Like.
Well, the California tattoo across his chest is pretty brutal.
I just remember they did like the halftime show a couple of years ago, and I was still under the impression that they were cool. And then they did that show with Travis Scott like for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
And everyone was roasting it on Twitter. I was like, that was cool, guys, right?
Guys, wait,
we were excited. He has tattoos.
For this.
He's cool.
He saw Sons of Anarchy once, and he's just like, I want that on my chest.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so I did pick up on that. I was a little like I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it because again, this band is so easy to make fun of. I was telling people that we were doing this, and then they're like, "Really?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. It's not that bad."
Does not surprise me.
And I've been known to be like very generous on this show because like I never want to yuck people's yums like that hard.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know, give it a go, everybody.
I'm also hesitant to like really make fun of like albums or just art in general that I could not do.
Oh, sure.
The amount of times I've tried to play guitar and failed, like I have no leg to stand on for most music unless it's like real bad. Unless it's like not trying.
Right. I usually don't talk about execution. I leave that to to the musicians, but I will talk about like stuff conceptually because like we create stuff, right? We're stand-ups and like so like we create things, and that is like a sort of like act in itself of art. And so like I can get behind stuff conceptually. We're like, what are you doing? Like that I will critique, but musicianship I will not. I leave that to the people who actually can do it. Because I can't.
Right.
That's why I talk about it so much.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing, folks. Here's the thing. I'm only doing this because I do comedy because I'd rather do music, you know, but like I don't have the skills to do music. So here I am. I'm the gym teacher of whatever this is.
That's funny.
Coach didn't put me in.
The team manager.
Yeah, I'm the water boy of music.
Would you? I don't want to derail us from the set, but would you do like musical comedy ever? Do you think?
I mean, kind of. I mean, I'm doing it now with like the Full Spin Club. You know, just like bringing like funny things into
Right,
the world
right.
of music. And like the live show that just happened, because it
Yeah.
hasn't yet as the time of recording, but
Got
by
it.
the time it comes out, it had just happened. There is a live show that we're doing monthly, hopefully, at Commonwealth Sanctuary, that we're both a part of. And that is me bringing those worlds together.
Yeah.
And so less of like the guitar guy comic.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to be guitar guy. I don't want to be bass guy. And,
Yeah.
you know, one-man bandy type shit.
Right.
But I will make the world of music funny. And like a lot of my bits on
like
stage
that.
when I'm doing normal stand-up are music-centric.
Right.
So like I
like
do
that.
mix them, but not to the degree of like guitar guy.
Not like song about Spirit Airlines or something.
Yeah. Like just a road dog comment at the
Right.
end of his fucking rope.
Yeah.
He's like, this has gotta hit.
Yeah.
All right, man. So the second question or topic of On a Pedestal is I'm going to tell you my 3 favorite tracks
Okay.
that I listen to. And I want you to rate my taste out of 10 and what my picks say about me.
Okay.
And then I want to hear your picks.
Okay.
So my top 3 were Harder to Breathe.
Okay.
What a ripper of an opener.
Love it.
Yeah. My second one was Not Coming Home, which...
Really? That
Yeah.
surprises me.
Yeah, there's like a guitar lick in there where I'm like, this kind of rules. And then The Sun is my third.
Okay. I will say The Sun wasn't one of them that I remembered
Oh, okay,
from
yeah.
listening to the album earlier in my life, but I really, really enjoyed that one. None of these are like, I guess Harder to Breathe might have been one of the singles, but those weren't the hits. Like,
Yeah,
you
those
don't
weren't the
think
hits.
about those 3.
Well,
when
I
you're
was
like,
tired of the hits.
Okay.
Because they were so ubiquitous. They were
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere. When this album was popping, it was
Yeah.
popping.
Yeah, I guess I had enough space from first time I really got into them that I was like kind of rediscovering for me the 3 like big ones, which are This Love, Sunday Morning, and Harder to Breathe. probably.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, those were my top 3, and I like that yours weren't the big popular ones. That you said Not Coming Home.
Yeah.
That was my least favorite one.
Interesting.
Just it felt very like Justin Timberlake-y. Like,
Fair.
And it's a lot like, I don't know, he had songs previously on this album where he's like, oh, you hurt me so bad. But then that one's like, I'm not coming home because I'm a bad boy.
Yeah,
it's very like,
which
if you hurt me, you're a bad person.
I have so many comments on this line, you know, like
Okay,
in the
yeah.
next segment because I have.
Okay, I'll save it then.
Because narratively, this album makes zero fucking
Right.
sense. But it's interesting because like, well, Not Coming Home just had that really good like guitar vibe to it.
Yeah.
Like there was like a very good portion where I'm like, all right, this kind of rips.
Yeah.
But like, The Sun is just also really classic. And
Love The
but
Sun.
I love what you mean about like sounding like Justin Timberlake because like yes,
And his album came out the same year as this one. So I think it
Okay.
might have just been of that time, but you don't see it other places in this album. That was just a place I really noticed it and had to look it up.
Because
because of that.
it makes total sense because like in my research for this album, I read that like they were doing Kara's Flowers towards the end of high school, and then they all went
Okay.
to separate colleges, or like they split up 2 and 2
Yeah.
and like went to different colleges, and like in like Adam and like another guy went to college in New York, and they're like, we
Yeah.
were just soaking up the scene in
Right.
New York, and I'm like, God, fuck off.
I think we read the same
Yeah.
article.
And like, and then they're soaking up the scene, and like, we really got influenced by urban
Hip-hop,
music.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, where?
Yeah, you made sure to say urban. One, you went to school in Long Island. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Second, you were like urban music. That's such a weird way to say
Yeah.
black music. And like, but it makes sense because like Justin Timberlake at the time
Yeah.
was trying to sound as black as
Hip-hoppy,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah, despite being super white and in the Mickey Mouse Club with Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling. Now, so that makes sense that like urban flair.
Yeah.
But
It just felt very out of place. And it wasn't even the whole song. They were just like, I don't know, certain pieces of it that I was just like, it just feels very like, I'm a bad boy. And if that hurts you, that's your problem.
yeah, and if that hurts
But if you hurt me, I'm going to be sad and cry and be angry about it.
I'm so happy we picked up on that
Yeah.
because in the next section I have thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. for the last part of this section, I'm going to choose a single track that I think is the most timeless, and then do you agree or disagree, and then we'll ask what yours is.
Okay.
So mine is Sunday Morning, I think is the most timeless.
I agree.
Despite not being like in my top 3, I can objectively say this one's going to be the lasting one.
I agree. I don't know. I go back and forth because Sunday Morning is it's such an audibly pleasing song to listen to. It's not very like harsh in the lyrics or in the music. It's just easy listening.
Yeah.
And it puts you in a good mood. It's like the sun is out. It's Sunday, I'm sleeping in. It's a very easy listen. But I also think She Will Be Loved, like everyone knows that.
Right.
And it was also like one of those, it came up when the radio was like how people consume music pretty much exclusively. There's much more like a monoculture around music. So everyone knows She Will Be Loved. So I don't know if that's a good enough reason to make it more timeless, but
I think like my reason for calling Sunday Morning timeless is because like he's not talking about anything time specific like and like it doesn't feel very like early 2000s. Like it doesn't like the feeling of it is more like broad than the time it was put out. Yeah. And also like things like descriptors, like where you paint imagery as well as he does like Sunday Morning, Rain is Falling, you know, like he's painting you a picture. Right. That kind of stuff ends up making songs way more timeless because you're painting a picture of something everybody knows. Right.
There's no like references to the current culture or anything like that. Right. Not even like subtly. It's just very universal. Like in the imagery and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. So like that's like kind of what makes these things timeless in my mind. And like despite it not being in my top 3, like I was like, all right, this one's this one's gonna be the lasting one. my picks be damned. Yeah.
That's good.
All right. That brings us to our next section, On a Spit, which is where we get to talk about the negative stuff.
Great.
I'm gonna give this album my best schoolyard insult. And then I want to hear your best defense.
Okay.
So,
do I have to defend it?
I'll try. You have to defend the album. You have to defend the album.
Okay.
Because like I'm gonna come for it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my schoolyard insults this season are based around Yo Mama jokes.
Cool.
So like instead of Yo Mama, it is this album. Okay. So like, this album is so manipulative that there is no way I could have seen how poorly this band was gonna treat me in a few years. Those rose-colored glasses of this album are so thick.
See, I don't know if it's rose-colored glasses. I think that's part of the appeal of it. Like, I'm not, it's never convincing me that they're like, I'm a good person, and this is a very normal human response to a breakup.
It's a heartbreak.
Like, yeah, this isn't like what you're going through in a normal breakup, but I don't know. I think that's why I like it. it's so over the top. Yeah. Like in both the positive memories of the relationship and the negative ones. Like he really hangs out on the fringes of that emotional spectrum, and I like that. It's funny to watch that.
This guy's unhinged.
Yeah, it's like when you see one of your friends who's like, I don't know, maybe going through it a little bit.
It's like a little entertaining.
Yeah,
I feel
like,
that.
I hope you feel better, Adam Levine. But like,
also,
thanks for writing this. It's fun to listen to.
I just feel like it was like manipulative in the sense that like, man, this band's gonna rule, and then they like just it just veered off the rails like really hard. Like they're like, because like I just felt like I was like, man, this band's gonna rock. They're never gonna let me down, and then they almost let you down immediately after.
I will say, I don't know if they had that sharp of a drop. I think it was very gradual and consistently down. Yeah. But like the next album, I think was fine. I couldn't pick out a song that I think is like this is a good song. I think it was definitely worse. But
I know there's one with Rihanna somewhere.
Yeah, that was the one after this next one, I believe.
Okay.
And it's a shame because then like you see he names his influences like Stevie Nicks was his favorite artist. And then, he said Stevie Nicks, The Beatles, and Simon & Garfunkel. And then you get to his most recent album, and he got to do a song with Stevie Nicks. And you're like, oh, that's so nice, but it's terrible.
Yeah, that's so nice. Wow, you made her worse.
Yeah. You ruined Stevie Nicks.
It's like when you're Like, I don't know if you've ever decorated any baked goods or any kind, or like we'll even go less niche than that.
Okay.
we'll
I
go
was gonna say not professionally.
Anyway, the guy wearing pink has decorated cupcakes before.
You're a Renaissance man.
Yeah. But all right, fine. When you're a kid and you're coloring with like Crayola markers.
Thank you for breaking it down to like the simplest level.
When you're coloring with Crayola markers and you're like, you've just colored in something black, but you want to move on to yellow, and you accidentally like swipe through the black with the yellow marker, and it absolutely fucks the yellow marker. Stevie Nicks
Forever.
is the yellow
I see.
marker. He's like, man, I'm really influenced by this yellow marker.
Yeah.
And then he's like, let me poison you.
Let me take this vulnerable artist who is like trying to become popular again after a long time.
Just
Put her on
absolutely
a terrible song.
Yeah. Like, have you heard my song Sugar? He's like, this was really influenced by Fleetwood Mac. And she's like, oh,
God.
dope.
Don't tell me that. I do always wonder, like, when people name the greats as like their influences, like, how bad do they feel? Like,
They're like, damn it.
Yeah.
This is my fault? Like,
don't put this on me.
yeah, why would you make this my fault? All right, so the next one here is, let's say this album is your crush. I'm going to try and shatter your rose-colored glasses by pointing out some things I don't like about it.
Okay.
And then we'll tell me after if you're still into it.
Okay.
My thing with this album is like, this album is Olympic in its level of mental gymnastics. Is he the victim? Is he the perpetrator? Somehow he's decided he's both, so as not to struggle with his own ego too much, where it's her fault that I cheated on you.
You see, that's just honesty. He's just that's just a human response right there. Honestly, I do
was being
kind
emotionally honest.
I do kind of like that it's not just like a whole album about this girl who broke his heart and how it's all her fault, and it's also not like it's not like the Weeknd album. It's like, I cheat on women.
Yeah. He's like, I am both.
Sorry if that offends you, liberals.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, Snowflake, that
It
you
did.
are upset with me for cheating on you.
it reminded me of that movie 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, yep.
Where he's like looking back on the relationship and he thinks it's like all this wonderful, like the love story of our time, but then you see like what it actually was like, and it was pretty awful for her. It's like, it's got both sides of it, which I like.
Yeah, it's funny though, because like, again, I was like, are you the victim? I watched a very compelling YouTube video essay that did not have that many views, which makes sense, because where the guy was like really going to bat for Adam Levine in this album. Like, he was like, yeah, Adam Levine cheated on her, but he's somehow still the victim. And I'm like, how is this a thing?
Man, that person really likes Adam Levine.
Yeah. Well, he was like, this is about his ex-girlfriend Jane, and then like, and it's like how he ended the relationship because she was cold to him. So like, instead of communicating, he's like, I'll just cheat on her because I'm not getting what I need out of this relationship, and because you didn't give me what I needed, you forced me to cheat on you.
You don't trust me after this? Like,
Yeah, this is your fault.
If you're not gonna trust me, then this can't go on.
Yeah, I have a bit I've been working out where like I call it's like based on like the show, I have like mini game bits now, and one's called mental gymnastics, where I'm like, all right, and I'll like give a scenario and be like, and how is that not your fault?
Right.
like, this album feels like an answer to that question. Like, it is just so fucked. So how do you feel?
Just about the mental gymnastics.
Yeah, the mental gymnastics
being the
aspect of this
victim
album.
and the perpetrator
at the exact same time. I would have never cheated on you if you had given me what I needed.
Right. I think in his mind, it's like, it's the honorable thing to do, to like show both parts of the very flawed. He's a complicated individual.
But like the vibe of the record does not have any sort of like.
There's also no flow. Like, it's not a chronological story.
No.
It's not like the beginning is when it's good, and then Secret, I think, is when he cheats on her, and then it's like the coming out of that. It's not a linear story.
No.
It's just kind of like, I wrote all these songs about my ex-girlfriend. We're going to throw them together.
Yeah, sometimes
about
I'm
Jane.
bad, but secretly not that bad.
Right. Anyone would do the same thing if they were in my shoes.
Yeah, if you're in my shoes.
And Jane didn't trust you after you cheated on her one time.
God. Well, like, it also, because, like, later, like, in the video essay, it was, like, it showed his dark path towards infidelity. Like, because, like, later he's, like, messaging people on Instagram all sus, like, and so I was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
What
it's
is
trying
this
to
video essay
blame,
about?
like, the rest of his life on Jane.
Yeah. He's like, man, I never...
funny. Because it sounds like it was just a pretty normal, like, breakup.
Like, young person relationship.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And, like, but it got, like, weird. It got weird.
Yeah.
He's just...
I think he's doing a lot of work to make him feel better about maybe trying to feel better about cashing in on this relationship. And poor Jane, by the way.
Yeah. Being named in the album title that then immediately blew up. I'm sure that was brutal.
Yeah.
That's the worst. But I don't know if you've ever done anything creative after like a breakup of sorts, but like I'm grateful none of the things that I ever did creatively after breakups were like,
I feel like
were
very
like
public.
popular. Yeah, because
I feel like it's very rare that it ends up being good.
Yeah,
because you're just, I don't know, clearly so emotional and like, I don't know, that's the kind of stuff you write and then delete out of the Google Doc.
Yeah, like it's
like
out
no
of my
one needs to
system
see
now.
this.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll publish it and make a bunch of money and tour this whole thing, 200 shows
and
a year.
Win 3 Grammys.
Did it?
They have won 3 Grammys.
Oh. Career-wise.
The album, I think one of the songs won a Grammy, and then they got one for like best performance of This Love maybe or something.
Oh, okay.
They got best new artist. That's
They
what it
in
was.
general have won 3 Grammys.
Yeah. I just want to make sure we paint an accurate picture
of
our
Maroon
boys.
5. Yeah, it's really Maroon 3.
Never did get those other two.
Never got those other two.
He got distracted by The Voice.
Oh my gosh. All right, for the last part of On a Spit here, let's each choose a song to cut from the record. If we agree, cool. If we disagree, we got to sit here and figure it out.
Okay.
Of like whose needs to go.
I hated Shiver so much.
Really?
Yes.
I kind of
it
liked
sounded like
Shiver.
it was not complete.
Interesting.
I just really did not enjoy it. And it was after Harder to Breathe and This Love, which are two bangers.
Yeah?
Then right to Shiver, which just felt very angsty. The whole album's angsty, but this one was just like really digging in.
Sure. I like the guitar lick though.
I think okay, I'm back. I'm convinced. I think the guitar was great, but they probably thought that was enough for the song.
To carry it. Okay,
what was yours?
Oh, mine is controversial.
If it's She Will Be Loved.
It is She Will Be Loved.
Cut from the album? Cut from ever being released, or just cut from this album like as a piece? Both?
Now it might just need to go.
Oh no.
Like I'm not gonna go back in time and erase it.
Okay.
But like it could have been like a one-off. Like a B-side.
It could have been on their third or fourth album.
And like I know this is controversial because it is like arguably the biggest song.
Their most like recognizable song.
But like because like
it's a little annoying.
It's annoying, and also like that male manipulator shit that we were just talking about. I was like,
it's pretty big there.
Jane will be fine. Jane will be loved. Everybody,
Honestly,
I'm not the bad.
I'm just
guy.
enriching the tapestry of her life with this failed relationship.
Yeah, like, I'm really the good guy. If you think about it hard enough, I can get there.
But if you can look past that, it's
it's like she'll be fine. Like everyone's overreacting.
I think this album would be worse without it. But
okay.
I don't know. I think it fits really well.
Sure.
With the rest
And
of it.
again, this may have been so you know how I was able to be objective earlier about like a song that wasn't in my top 3 being the most timeless. This one I was not objective at all. I was like subjectively I was
the
like,
only
this one
reason
can go.
I might agree with you is because this song has like the worst music video
Oh,
I've
really?
ever seen. Maroon 5 as a
I
whole.
didn't dive into their music videos.
I just remember it from childhood.
like VH1.
But from like Maroon 5 as a whole has some of the most atrocious music videos I have ever seen. She Will Be Loved, it's like, it's a guy. I hate, first of all, when a music video won't have the same story as the song.
Sure.
It's just like completely different. He like meets this girl and then he cheats on the girl with her mom.
Dude, Adam Levine sucks so much, dude. This sucks. It's annoying that this is sonically good to listen to. Like, it's frustrating that, like, yeah, some of these are for real rippers. That is the worst thing I've ever heard.
They're all bad music videos, though. I recommend it. It's a fun, like, hate watch.
Yeah. God knows I don't have enough to hate watch these days.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay,
That's so
I'll agree
frustrating.
with you for that reason only, because then that video wouldn't exist, and
Yeah.
the world would be better for it.
Yeah, dude, cheating on with her mom. Get the fuck out of here, Adam
I think
Levine.
it's an older one. It's her mom.
It's
I was trying to remember. It might have been her grandma, but I think it is her
no
mom.
way. There's no way they'd like get through the market. like imagine the marketing meeting with like, all right, so we have this pitch for the music video, and they pitch like a bunch of other good ideas, and then
Yeah.
like Adam's like, let's circle
What
back.
about this?
Yeah. He's like, now, like,
I've actually got some ideas on my own.
yeah. Who spoke up in the back and said I should fuck her mom?
Yeah, let's run with that.
Let's run with that. I really like that. That's edgy. I like it. And also, I don't think I'm the victim in that.
Yeah.
or like, I don't think I'm the perpetrator. I think, anyway, once again, Jane will be fine.
Yeah.
Everybody get over it except me. Because I'm the victim.
Yeah.
All right, we did it. We agreed finally. And that's fair. And I love being right. So things are going great for me right now. I've never been happier. All right, so that brings us to On a Turntable. This is our chance to get to know you a little better with using the music as a backdrop. So the first question I have for you here is, this album, from what I can tell based on my listens, is mostly about lust and heartbreak. Given that I've only seen you happily married on social media, what are some stories of your own that go along with these themes before you were married? Do you have a Jane? Who or what is your Jane?
You see, David, there's a lot you might not know about me.
I'm actually incredibly unhappily married. Life is a prison.
Social media is a facade
It's
to make
all
other
fake.
people feel bad about where they are in life.
Well, it's working.
Damn. No, I think the boring answer is no. There's no Jane. Like, it's just so far from any experience I've ever
okay.
had. And I think that's why it appeals to me. It's like, it's fiction, and
Oh, sure.
like, just I don't want to hear an album about being happily married with a
Well, yeah, because it's insufferable. You remember Chance the Rapper's album about being happily married? It sucked.
yeah, that didn't work out for him too.
No.
He was man, he was
Intercut.
selling merch, like his shirts at his shows said "I heart my wife," like "I heart
Jesus
NYC."
Christ. That's funny.
And no one's heard of him in quite a while.
Well,
but no, like that's the fun part of it. It's like bad characters. Like, I don't know. That's why people watch Succession and like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Like, you like to see the bad things people do, so you could live vicariously through it. Just
That's fair. Because like
a less destructive way to sit in that
yeah,
space, kind of.
I feel somewhere in the middle of those two things. Like
Okay.
when I do like most of my musical listening, like I like it to like have some connector to my life.
Yeah.
Maybe not 100%. There are bands that I love, like the band Microwave. I love them a lot. I know.
I'll have to check them out. What kind of music does Microwave play?
It's someone pressing the buttons on a microwave to get the tune right.
Love it.
No, but they're like a southern pop punk band, like
Okay.
out of Atlanta, and they have lived such like a dirtbag existence,
Yeah.
is like living in the van
Uh-huh.
and like all that stuff, and like I connect with like the themes of their music of like
Yeah.
being sad, but like I don't connect with the dirtbag stuff, and so that's like
Right.
the fantasy in my life. Or like the other band, and you're gonna laugh at this, Pop. These other pop punk fans,
Yeah.
I for sure connect with them because they have like existential songs about being 30.
Yeah.
And like so like that I do typically gravitate towards the stuff that is in line with like my own life.
Yeah.
So
There's
that's
got to be a touch point.
yeah, there's got to be a touch
That's
point.
fair.
Like, and if there isn't a touch point, then it has to absolutely fucking rip. Like, it has to like just be bangers.
Yeah.
Like Sabrina Carpenter. Like, I have nothing in common with her, but I do
That's
like
fair.
coffee. Like, I don't know.
You have that in common.
Yeah.
You should DM her, dude. Like, you guys have so much in common.
I'm neither skinny nor blonde. So
You're out.
that's it. Like,
That's fair, though. There does have to be some touch point. And just like love is the most universal thing to write about ever. So
yeah.
I don't know. I really liked that it's like a concept. It's all supposedly about this one person. It probably isn't, to be honest, but it's a nice concept without being too regimented and like,
Yeah.
I don't know, not telling a strict story. It's
Without he
which
wasn't
could be what we were discussing earlier is one of the weaknesses of it, but
he wasn't. It's like he wasn't heavy-handed with his like
yeah.
Jane-ness. You know, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
title
If
was
you're looking
heavy-handed.
for it, you can like
it wasn't
connect the dots yourself, which is fun.
It wasn't something crazy like songs about Jane. Like the first track, fuck Jane. Track 2, this isn't my fault.
Unblock me, please.
Yeah, track 3, how you like this shit.
This one's going number 1. Your life's about to be hell.
Yeah, it's about to be worse. You'll never meet anyone as cool as me.
I did read that when this was after the first band failed. Maybe it was after he was done with school or something, but he was working as a writer's assistant on some like CBS show. And people said he would just kind of like sulk around writing songs about his ex-girlfriend.
Jesus Christ. Insufferable.
That would be so funny to just have that guy at work. He's just like,
I
can
want
you
to know
go
what
get
show.
coffee?
Yeah, I want to.
It was Judging Amy. I don't know. Who that
Of
is.
course. He's like, man, I work on this show where we judge women. My entire
It was
life,
not a hit.
My entire life right now is.
You guys are judging women. I think I could be of service here.
Yeah, I think I have something to contribute. Have you heard my song "Fuck Jane"? That one's on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on. Next question is: this album is arguably Maroon 5's best work. As a creative yourself, do you ever fear that your best work is being produced right now? And anything you make later, despite positive reception from the general public, won't be as raw or as real as anything you're doing right now.
Man, I really hope not. Like,
Right? We all hope.
Like, man,
what if the best joke I've ever written already happened?
that's such an insane and terrifying thought. Like I read that, I was like, oh no.
Welcome to the Full
it's
Spin
been a
Club.
couple weeks since I've had a joke. I was like, oh, this is a good new joke. So perfect.
Welcome to the
And I
Full
think
Spin
I-
Club, where I cause existential spirals. I actually did that. I did that on the last episode too,
With who?
with Andrew Bennell.
Oh no.
Where he came out of listening to this album wondering why.
Yeah.
So go check that out if you're interested. We cause spirals
Oh,
here.
that's so funny. What album was that?
It Is What It Is by Thundercat.
Why?
Yeah, he's like, I just wondered why.
At least with songs about Jane, you come out of it like, okay, I'm not that bad.
I'm not the worst. Yeah.
No, but I think like the ambiguous promise of like stand up and writing is that you just keep getting on stage, you keep writing, you're gonna get better. It's just how it works, which I don't think that's true. Like you
Well,
see
I've
some
seen
people,
plenty of people not
Yeah.
get better.
right? I think if you deliberately like work for, I don't know, extended period of time, you should get better. But I don't know, like that would suck.
I think the danger and like what we can tell ourselves now is like the danger is listening to something that was successful, like and then
Just trying to do that.
well misreading what was successful
Ooh,
about
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's like the tragedy of Maroon 5 is they kind of like misjudged where the success came from.
They were like, everyone likes us because we're sexy.
Yeah, and so let's just keep being sexy.
Yeah.
Call the tattoo guy. I want it on my chest.
Turns out the music isn't that important.
Yeah.
We gotta hit the gym, folks.
But like, because like that feels like the dark tragedy. And so like, if you're ever listening to a set and you're like, I wonder why this worked, and you're just wrong, but like,
right.
and then it works for all the wrong reasons, and then you're just trapped. That sounds like my personal nightmare.
It also doesn't really help that you hear like professional veteran comedians who do this for a living, and they still say like, I'll have a new joke and I'll think it's great and it won't hit at all. I still like people still don't fully understand what's making people laugh at the joke.
Oh yeah,
which is terrifying.
We have that conversation all the time in the comedy community. Where we're like, why is this person getting so many laughs? I was just talking to my girlfriend. I was like, the one thing that irks me the most in stand-up is when someone I don't like is like crushing.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And you're like, how are you crushing?
Right. I feel like I've learned a lot from watching those people, like, because it's almost never their material.
No, it's never their material.
It's like they're really good at the stage craft part of stand-up. They're good, like, confidence is so much of it.
Or like they're just a meme. Like,
they said the thing.
Yeah, say the thing.
Yeah. I don't know. That is demoralizing though. But I don't know. That's all stuff that, like, it's been done before too.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Someone taking huge risks isn't accidentally crushing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there needs to be intention behind it. And if I'm not seeing intention, I'm going to freak out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. He can't keep getting away with this.
That is fair.
But
to answer your
male
question,
manipulators, we'll quote Walter, like Jesse Pinkman and Walter White.
Oh, I was thinking the SNL Papyrus sketch.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't.
I guess they're just referencing Breaking Bad then.
Oh, okay.
It's just real quick. He sees the Avatar logo and he realizes it's just the font Papyrus.
Oh yeah.
And he's just pissed that he keeps getting away with it.
Yeah.
You got it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's funny. He can't keep getting away with this. Yeah. Mine's much sadder.
Yeah.
It's Jesse
destroying
Pinkman
lives,
trying to get Walter White to be done. All right, for our last question of this segment, this band is one of those bands out there that everyone loves to hate, as we've mentioned many times.
It's fun.
But this album is often held up by the word "but." So, like, at the end of the sentence, Maroon 5 sucks, but Songs About Jane kind of rocks. So do you think there's someone out there that is like, Nathan Alexander sucks, but so who is it? Why do you suck? And what is your butt?
Oh man, these questions just really came for me. Got me thinking about everyone I've ever wronged in my life. But yeah, I have quite a few haters, David. People trying to see my downfall. They're trying to stop me from getting 1 to 2 shows a month and doing 2 to 3 open mics per week. They hate that. They hate that I'm getting laughs here and there.
Yeah. But
he
has that one joke.
That one joke doesn't suck. He just tells it every time.
I'm just bored of it.
Realistically, like, it'd be fun to think like, oh, I have all these people all these bookers have it out for me, but just no one's thinking about you.
Yeah.
Like, really, no one's thinking about
in
anybody
a much sadder
else.
sense. Literally, no one thinks about you.
Why?
It's like that elevator scene in fucking Mad Men where he's like, I hate you, and he's like, I don't think about you at all.
That's me to, like, bookers. You guys want to see me fail because I'm telling truths of
I'm the new Messiah.
Yeah.
I'm telling truths.
No.
You can't handle them.
I'll start to have a spiral after, like, bombing at an open mic.
Sure.
But then I'll look up and everyone's just on their phones, or like everyone's thinking about their set. I don't know. I'm sure people dislike
Have
me.
any ops?
Not that I know of. I'm sure I do, but I mean, I try to just stay out of the scene drama and stuff, and, like, be nice to people even if I don't think they're funny.
Yeah. I think mine, like, since, like, it just make you feel like I'm not actually coming for you, like, I do have thoughts about myself in this
feel like
light.
I feel like a lot of comics probably do, because we're just obsessed with ourselves.
Yeah. And I want to share my story. It's unique. But my thing is, like, I'm much better about it now, but, like, when I was younger, I had such a quick wit as far as, and, like, I would get myself in trouble at parties of just, like, insulting someone really fast, and I don't give it a second thought.
Right.
Because, like, there are people, and, like, on the other side of that, I've said really inspirational things to people, and they'd be like, you really, like, got through to me, and I'm like, remind me again what I said.
Hey,
because
that's a good problem to have.
and I was like, but I would just be like, and like I just like have throwaways, like where like my thoughts move fast, my mouth moves
just saying
fast,
what you're
yeah,
thinking.
and then like I would get in trouble, and so I'm sure there's like someone out there that I like wronged at a party. And they're like, it's like, this guy.
Some snowflake.
Yeah, some liberal snowflake. JK, it was always the conservatives that I was going after at those parties. Or like some guy at a party and like, he's like, yeah, that guy is a dick, but he lost a lot of weight. Like, he looks different now.
Maybe he's changed.
Or like, I'm sure there's a girl that's like, yeah, he was really annoying to me, but he left me alone now.
Yeah.
So we don't really have to fuck with him.
I'll say like one complaint I've heard about myself was like more in like college and stuff. If I feel like I'm pretty close with someone, I'll have like, I don't know, bust each other's chops. Like,
Oh, sure.
quick to make fun of my friends, but it's like a sign of love for me. Like I think it's funny when people make fun of me, so I do the same.
My friends are the meanest to me possible.
Yeah.
We are
That's
so
how you
mean
know
to
you're
each other.
close. But
Yeah.
I think I have misjudged how close I was with someone. I remember I was playing basketball with like my best friend, and we're just awful to each other. Like, I hope you die today, like things like that. Standard friend
Totally
stuff.
standard issue.
And then one of our other friends who were not as close, he's like, guys, are you guys okay? Like, what's going on? Like, no, this is normal.
No, I love this guy.
You know how we hate each other? Like, you know how you don't like your friends?
You know, I didn't have a positive role model for love in my life. This is it.
just guy stuff.
Yeah, just man shit.
You know, we can't express our feelings, so we have to be really mean instead.
Yeah,
It's
you know-
a feeling.
You know, I've had to suppress every positive feeling I've ever had so that the negatives don't hurt as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends like I always attribute it like I need those people in my life because like if I get too like in my head like if things are going too well, then I'm gonna be just the worst person to be around. Like I need y'all in my life to keep me humble.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I need you to tell me that I'm still fat and full of shit.
Yeah. That's fair.
If I have a lick of success, I'm gonna be insufferable.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out. 59 of you, hopefully more by now. But all right, man, that brings us to the end of our episode, which means it is record scratch time, baby.
Oh, no.
Time for your personally curated minigame. If you've made it this far into the episode, you're about to be rewarded because these are always fun. But it also, please like, comment, subscribe. It's what makes this more fun for me because I just do this because I like it.
Yeah.
But it'd be more fun to also be validated. Wouldn't that be something? That'd be so sick. But all right, are you ready for your minigame?
Yes.
All right, this minigame is called Male Manipulator Music.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, are you aware of like the concept of male manipulator music?
Yeah, just from what we've talked about so far, I think I've gotten the context, like The Weeknd, like.
So it's about the people that listen to these people.
Oh, okay.
So like if a guy listens to these bands, they're considered male manipulators, and I would put Maroon 5 in the group.
Fair.
Like if this guy's your idol, you're probably the worst with women. So I have a list of 5 different groups that are considered male manipulator musics, either by the internet or my own, because I don't think one of these is, or like 2 of these are actually on those lists, but I think they are. So, and we're going to put them against Maroon 5. So like if this person...
Worse or better?
Yeah, worse or better than Maroon 5.
Okay.
So,
it's just Maroon 5 right now as of their whole...
Yeah,
career.
As of their whole catalog. We won't... Like, but like Songs About Jane is probably the most manipulative.
I guess I haven't really listened closely to the other stuff, but
the rest is like a lot of more
tough to beat.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough. All right, so the first one is The Strokes. So like, if the person listens to The Strokes, are they more manipulative or less manipulative than someone who listens to Maroon 5?
The only reason I might say more than if they listen to Maroon 5 is because it's still kind of embarrassing to listen to Maroon 5, and like a male manipulator cool guy might not admit that.
That's fair.
So I'm going to say more.
Okay, that's fair, because the people, if you know us, Strokes listeners, we love bringing it up. I love The Strokes. Carl Spaeth in his episode this season ripped it apart, and I had to be like, yeah. Oh,
We have that one asking why.
He's like, they're the worst. Is this album he's pointing to actually?
This here sucks.
Yeah, but I have another one out of shot. That one I actually prefer, and he agreed with me that that's the better one, so I felt better.
Okay, that's
But
good.
You're all right. So
That's the risk of this show is like if you bring someone on to talk about something you really like,
oh yeah.
that could hurt.
Yeah, especially people like Carl Spath, who's so mean to me. So mean. This is the first episode where I haven't uttered the phrase, "Why does no one respect me?" I love doing this.
You have fun doing this?
Yeah.
This was your idea?
I'm like, I have a tear. And I'm just like, yeah, it's so great.
Like and subscribe, please.
Make these people feel bad for being mean to me. But okay.
Yeah, when Dave is chilling with Mr. Beast, you're all gonna be sorry, dude.
Okay, first of all, he's in the process of getting outed as like the worst person ever. So I don't associate with Mr.
Someone
Beast,
else.
Beastables, or anything like that. Weird Lunchables that he put out.
I didn't know
Right.
that.
Next band, Radiohead. You think people that listen to Radiohead are more manipulative than those who listen to Maroon 5?
I'm gonna say no, less manipulative than people who listen to the Moon 5 because Radiohead, I feel like they're more sad and internal people.
Sure.
They're gonna be self-destructive.
Yeah, they're going to hurt themselves before they hurt someone else.
Right, and in the process they'll hurt other people, but it's
for
more
sure.
that's collateral
Yeah,
damage.
it's more collateral.
Yeah.
It's more collateral damage,
Yeah.
It's like, which isn't their fault.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Mumford and Sons.
I'm gonna say less.
Then Maroon 5.
Yes,
I'm going to make the argument that they're low-key manipulative people.
they're like
The people that love Maroon or Mumford and Sons are like low-key manipulative folk.
I could see that, and they just.
Maybe I'm also confusing manipulative and insufferable.
that's the thing. I keep getting confused here.
I'm confusing those two terms.
They wear beanies year round
Yeah,
inside, and it
It's
just
like if I see one more
it's to
motherfucker
manipulate.
barefooted in the park, I'm gonna freak out. Okay, I'll give it. Yeah,
Okay, I'm
Maroon
gonna
5.
say-
I think realistically, Maroon 5 probably is the more manipulative.
I'll say
band.
Maroon 5. I think Mumford & Sons listeners probably aren't capable of manipulating
Yes.
to that level.
Not to that level. You're right. There is no Mumford and Sons album that's just like this is my fault, but yours.
Yeah. That's
But
fair.
if you think about it hard enough, it's actually your fault.
And I'm a good guy for admitting that.
Yeah. And actually, I came out of this smelling amazing. All right, up next, the 1975.
More.
Yeah.
More, for sure, dude.
I agree. This is
Much
one that
more.
isn't on those lists. I've added
Oh,
the
really?
1975.
That's like who I think of. when-
Yeah, because like people who like really, really, really like 1975, I'm like, you're probably not that great. Or you put
What
on
do you
a
like about
or
'em?
you put on a facade that you're great.
I do like their music, though. Maybe I'm seeing a problem
Uh-oh.
pattern here.
I'm just naming all of your favorite.
My top 5 Spotify bands.
It's like, did you creep on me to pick these? And finally, Death Cab for Cutie.
I'm going to say less. Death Cab for Cutie listeners, they're saints. They're just going through something. They're having a hard time.
For context, he admitted to me
Be
before
nice
this.
to them.
He admitted to me before this he's a huge Death Cab for Cutie fan. And I'm like, that's amazing because this game's going to be silly.
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to think of their songs now. But
There's one song that is so creepy.
do you remember which one?
Yeah, I think it's like I will.
Follow You to the Dark?
No, not that one. It's oh my god, this is gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's like I will infect your heart or something like that.
Maybe I haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went and saw a Death Cab for Cutie show in Louisville, and he just seemed like a nice guy. Maybe he just manipulated me.
They always seem nice. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I will possess your heart.
oh.
And he's like, and like it's
That's
such
not even like I want to possess your heart. It's
no,
like,
I will. Yeah,
It's
and like,
gonna happen.
that song. It's like it's very long. Like the song is like
They've got a couple like 10-minute songs. Like, okay.
Yeah, the song is 8.5 minutes long, and like most of the lines are like, it's like, you just got to spend some time with me. If you just spend enough time with me, you'll love me.
It's the girls never give nice guys a chance.
Yeah,
kind of
dude, it has
music.
such nice guy energy.
Yeah.
Like I like Death Cab for Cutie too. I won't lie, but like this song is so problematic.
I'll have to listen to that. Hopefully, it's not my new favorite song.
The intro is incredibly long and is a simple bass line.
Perfect.
Get ready for that.
I'll check it out.
Like, hold on, let me read a couple lyrics. Just.
They also have a huge catalog that I feel like I haven't gotten into it enough.
Yeah,
but the ones I like, I really like.
Fair. I mean, like, again, they also have, I agree. They have a big catalog, but the ones that I like, I love.
Yeah.
But like, so like after the extremely long intro, which has got to be 2 minutes, I would say.
Just make sure you're in the right headspace.
Yeah. It says, how I wish I could see the potential, how I wish you could see the potential of you and me. It's like a book elegantly bound, but in a language that you just can't read yet. You got to spend some time, love. You got to spend some time with me. And I know that you'll find love. I will possess your heart.
That's like bounds for...
That's restraining order shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could go to the police with that.
Yeah. like, again.
That's insane. That's like a true stalker letter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like if
that just appears in your bathroom one day.
Like if I collaged, like this,
that's wild.
The lyrics to this out of like
magazine
letters, it would come off as unhinged as hell.
You'd go stay at your parents for a couple weeks.
Yeah, like, I gotta go off the radar.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty rough. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you're too stupid to realize how good we'd be together.
Yeah, you're not getting it. I'm actually perfect for you.
Man, that's rough.
I hope he found the right person, and then he doesn't play this song out loud anymore.
She's like, no, you don't need this one to be heard by people.
Yeah. This one was a Google Drive one. Like this is one of those ones, like those creative acts where you're like
sometimes the creation of it should be enough.
Yeah, that should be plenty.
Death Cab for Cutie.
But all right, Nathan, we've made it to the end of the episode.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. Oh, okay, that seemed excited. All right. No. Don't correct yourself.
I'm just sad that it's over.
Okay.
I had a great time. Thank you for having me.
For sure, man. This is probably coming out early December. So if you have anything coming down the pike beginning of next year that you want to plug, feel free to do so now.
Yeah, you guys, if you could check out on Spotify Songs About Jane by Maroon 5. It's a really good album, and I think you'd like it. No, I don't have anything that far out. But
fair enough. I don't either. I will just continually plug the live series of shows.
Yes.
He was just in it, and it was amazing, even though we haven't done it yet. Yeah. But that has come down in the Full Spin, the People Versus. I don't know what the next one's going to be, but get your tickets. I'll link them in the description. And then that's all I have.
Ooh.
And then so thanks so much for coming on. This was super fun. I had a great time.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
And we'll catch everyone in the next one. Peace out.